Eh, Yes. It's a pleasure working out with you today.
It was a pleasure too.
Kibadde kya kabi. Naye mumulabye. Ono Doris tayogera bwogezi. She's a communication expert. Biki byonna she will tell us. But one thing I know that she doesn't compromise on is exercising and working out. How was the workout?
Loved it, loved it, loved it. You know, my first love is dance.
Yes.
Kati sukuma ya chinde.
Oh,
I love dancing.
And each time we have those engagements, you're one of the people at the front line. But let's go.
Most definitely.
It was nice. It was really nice. What do you think about this concept of ours of sweat fast, strategize next course? Now you're going to tell us about your story and how you came into this business of NGO strategists and becoming a communications expert. Now, fundraiser because I know so many people need these services.
Sweat fast, strategize later, I think is an amazing thing. You know, they always tell us that deals are struck in bars and at the golf clubs. So what about us? What about those of us who don't go to the bar and don't go to the golf club? Where are we going to strike the deals from? So maybe the workout flow should now become the next business opportunity place.
That's why she's a communications expert. People always tell us deals.
Yes.
Some of us don't drink.
We don't drink. We don't go to the bar. It's too loud. I don't even know how they hear themselves when they're striking.
The whole essence is about hormonal, excitement.
Yes, the endorphins are high. The oxytocin is high. So everything is. It's that excitement. Then others go to the golf club. But golfing is so expensive. And then some of us are like, but if you put me in a workout, I will make friends with everybody. By the time I'm done, we have exchanged numbers. We know each other. We are happy. We are excited. We are texting. And before you know it, business deals are being struck. Actually, my first job in the United Nations, I got it from the gym because I used to work out with the UNDP representative.
Okay.
Yeah. So we would work out, have conversation. Then eventually, kachai, people will sit, we hang around. What do you do? Oh, I do this, I do that. I started by being a consultant for them. After a while, they were like, there's a position. And it had always been my dream to work with the UN. And that's where my story starts. At 24 years old, I was in the United Nations. But it had been a dream from when I was 9 years old. When I was 9 years old, I knew that I was going to work in a diplomatic kind of field. So what I did, I knew that they needed more than one language. So I started learning French when I was 9. Back then we used to live in Entebbe and there was Alliance Française. I started going to Alliance when I was 9. By S1, when you go to S1 and people are saying this subject is tough. It was one of those subjects I did until my first master's. I always did French because it became easy. The language, the communication, I was always a writer, a reader. So I think, unlike many people, I was kind of lucky. For me, from a very young age, I knew what I wanted to do. There was never, will I be a scientist, will I be a doctor, will I be a pilot? I knew I wanted to be a diplomat, at least work with the United Nations. And then I also knew that I wanted to work in the media. The media dream, I just did for a while, and then it wasn't really coming through. But then the communication still was putting me next to the media world. So that was sufficient for me. So through high school, I really didn't fuss with the science subjects. I didn't even spend time there. Needless to say, I wasn't the best in my sciences, but in my literature, my English, my French, I knew that I would get A's only. Economics was the sort of science subject which I did very well as well. And then at Makerere University, I did my first degree. It was in French.
Okay.
And then, so when I finished that French degree, I'm asking myself, okay, what am I going to do in subject? I'm not going to teach. I want to teach. I ended up I went for a master's in translation in the UK. I did my first master's in translation, come back. Then I moved to Rwanda because I knew that at that point, Rwanda was in the stage of transitioning from French-speaking country
to English
to English-speaking. And I knew they had a lot of documents. I did a translation, government documents, what. So that's how I ended up working with the UN in the beginning as a consultant. I was a freelance translator. I was translating all the UN documents, UNDP, UNHCR, UNICEF. I was their go-to translator for all their work, even the government, Ministry of Agriculture, Ministry of Health. So in that process, as I was doing that, first of all, I got identified by a professor in the University of Butare. So he asked me to go and start in their Department of Languages. I started the course on translation. I was lecturing at the University of Butare, and then UNDP also calls. Yeah. So I also go to UNDP. And yeah, as they say, the rest is history, but there's a lot of history in there. So I spent 4 years in UNDP in Rwanda. Then I moved to South Africa and did 2 years at UNICEF in South Africa, Pretoria, and also very beautiful. Now at that point, the translation was sort of getting sidelined. Now the communication was the one taking full charge. Yes. Because at UNDP, I was the special assistant to the UN resident coordinator, and the resident coordinator is at the head of all the UN agencies. Yeah. And as his special assistant, you do the role of communications and coordination for all the UN agencies. So now communication was taking a really big thing. When I got to UNICEF in South Africa, I end up in fundraising, communications and fundraising. Now, also the love for fundraising starts there. So I grow in that fundraising field. By the time I left UNICEF, and UNICEF is big, so you can imagine. Barcelona FC had come to South Africa. Yeah. And Barcelona, I think they're the only team that pay to wear somebody's brand. Yeah. I don't know if they still wear UNICEF.
No, not anymore.
But they used to wear UNICEF.
Yes, yes.
And they used to pay UNICEF, I think, something like $9 million a year to wear the UNICEF brand back then. So, Umugaga South Africa, Govaita Patrice Motsepe. Yenanyini Football Club, Joraita, Mamelodi Sundowns. Yaleta Barcelona to South Africa. Then in partnership with UNICEF at Never Motsepe Foundation, I was sent to UNICEF. And this was all me there in the mix, learning all this fundraising and meeting all these rich guys. Woolworths also came on board, Super Sport. So it was a nice time to see, but now that was at a big level. And I kept wondering, there are people doing good stuff down there. How does this money trickle down and we see lives change, people trickling down? So that stayed with me. Even when I came back to Uganda, moved into government, worked with the Uganda Investment Authority, I started the Department of Communication, moved to, in between there was a lag. Then I did consultancy for the World Bank for about 2 years and moved back into government with the Uganda Free Zones Authority, which was export promotion. Still, communications. Oh, and also in that whole time, I eventually went back to school and did the Masters in Communication and Public Relations from the University of Leicester. Then I end up at the Aga Khan Development Network. The Aga Khan Development Network, now I really see lives being changed on the ground. The Aga Khan Development Network is huge. It has a huge non-profit sector. It has a huge not-for-profit sector. But in that non-profit sector, buying programs on the coast of Mombasa, of Zanzibar, and all that. They are really touching lives. So excitement grew from there. When nava Aga Khan, nyamba katika nonye a homegrown local NGO, and I see how I can support. So I found one based in Busega. It's called the Remnant Generation, and they take care of teenage mothers. So I sort of just started by volunteering, spending time with the teenage mothers. Then I got interested in the organization, asking them this, the other, and Oklava. They don't really have structures. They don't really have systems. And now all this background of mine from the UN, government to parastatal, now I understood how an organization should run. I understood issues of governance. I understood issues of leadership, of processes, of systems. So nembaga woman tutuule wansi and design strategic plan. What's your vision, mission? Where are we going? Who are the stakeholders we're communicating with? What's our communication plan? Whom can we partner with? So I started supporting strategy development and communication. As time grew, communication grew into fundraising, teaching them how to do reports, building the fundraising structure, training. Wow. I must say that, yeah, that's really where my fundraising arm was born and my NGO strategist in me was born. 4 years later, I come out of the remnant generation and their incomes have risen from, something people who are making like maybe at the end of the year, not making because they're not for profit, but abali buying a budget standing at about 50 million shillings a year to by 2022, we're talking about 1 billion shillings a year. And that is the budget we were working with. And that was money coming in from donors. That was assets they had owned and bought. Those were people they were supporting, the beneficiaries they were reaching out to, the girls they were sheltering, the babies that were being born, the partnerships. It was just amazing. So that's me in a nutshell. So I'm here now. My organization is Blue Peak Advisory Group.
Blue Peak.
Yes. Just unveiled it yesterday on the 1st of April.
Nice.
So you're just in time.
Yeah.
Blue Peak Advisory Group. And it's really a reflection of the growth that we've come through, where we started with communication, where we started with just branding and visibility, now growing into the space of really advisory, training, teaching. We run fundraising masterclasses. Now we're going to have them run in a different format, and we I won't reveal yet, but we've been running fundraising masterclasses. We've been running different types of trainings, corporate social responsibility, landscape understanding, mainly for NGOs. We've been doing working alongside nonprofit organizations just to grow their fundraising and communications, teaching them to write reports better, to strategize better. And we are seeing them going from invisibility to real visible, to real funds coming in. What we like to say that we help them to become findable and then fundable. Because somebody can't fund you if they don't know where you are, if they don't know what you do. And that's it in a nutshell.
The CV is huge. But again, my first time to see you or to meet you was through BNI. So why BNI?
Why BNI? BNI is interesting. So I came into BNI with the remnant generation. I had encountered BNI earlier on in 2017, but at that time, I was just launching into the business space. And I loved what they were doing. I understood the concept, but I was not ready. It's important in life to know the times and seasons. There are things that will come and they seem like great opportunities. But if you're not ready, as they say, opportunity favors the prepared mind.
Yes.
If it's not the season,
opportunity favors the prepared mind.
Yes. If it's not the season, don't rush it. Sometimes you're not prepared and you're aware that you're not prepared. So step away and prepare yourself. Other times you're not prepared and you're not even aware. So yeah. But for me in 2017, I wasn't prepared, but I saw the opportunity. I saw the great potential that BNI had. And we were trying to launch a new chapter at the time. So I got out, but I kept it at the back of my head. Now, as I was growing this NGO, I realized also one thing, that the NGO world was so closed in into their own space. They think only about what they are doing. They are not out there. And yet, business, funders, donors are in the business world. So I held them and said, let's go to BNI. So, but we're an NGO. Why are we going to BNI? I said, let's go there. Let's meet the business world. And as we would have it, at that time, I don't know if it's still available, BNI Uganda had open opportunities for NGOs to get into chapters, and they waive some of the fees, and you only pay just a little, just to sustain, to keep going. Yeah. So we got into BNI Sunrise in 2022, February. It was amazing. There was a lot of learning on our part as the NGO. There was a lot of learning on the part of the business sector. Because the business people are also wondering, hey, at the NGO collecting BNI, they are not a profit entity. So, but we realized that there was a real symbiotic relationship. What the business people were offering were services that the not-for-profit sector needed. And those are things like, the regular business things, printing, auditing, I don't know, think of any service. Yeah. The yogurt. In fact, it ended up that most of those businesses ended up now providing some of their services, trainings, expertise, and even products.
Advisory sometimes.
Yes. So advisory, people like Olu, Olu is a grand master in karate and all that. So we told him, come and train our girls in self-defense. Yeah. And he loved it. Now he even goes there. I'm no longer there, but I see videos when Olu has gone there. Yeah. He has maintained the relationship. People like...
The same way somebody can ask about my foundation.
Exactly, in BNI. Happy Spoon Yogurt at the time just felt it that she needed to provide yogurt to those mothers and babies. So every week she used to ask how many liters of yogurt do they want. So those were like in-kind donations, which were still helping the organization. Because the truth is there are so many little costly things that the organization needs. But if someone can help break that down, and it still goes, it's in their good books, it's in our good books, it was something. Then even for us, we pay for some of the services. For many of the services, you don't take many services for free. Construction, auditing. I think even now, I believe up to now in the auditing firm, they're still using Jetty and Partners. Yes. So it was one of those things. But for the NGO mind to realize that I can be in a business space and I actually hold my head up and talk to these business owners, and also see beyond the everyday wahala. Now you're looking strategy level. As a business, as an NGO, how can I grow into the space of social enterprise, for example, and start to earn? What products and services do I have that the girls or the mothers are making that I can get income from, and also even sell to the business community or create partnerships? So we sort of open their mind up to that.
Wow. When you speak, sometimes should have grabbed the pen and the paper. Yeah, because or maybe you're sharing, your CV
kasobina ku kamera
era tulirako kubanga makyaziza leero waneeno kubeera ku mukolo guno. Now, so who are your clients?
My main clients.
Who are you looking for?
Whom am I looking for? They're twofold. On the one hand, Njagala, a non-profit organization.
Like Sukuma Foundation.
I don't yet know what Sukuma Foundation does, but like I said, non-profit organizations face a number of issues. Number one, governance. Governance structures, real issues. By governance, I mean board structures.
Yeah.
And how that relates to management, and even, then when you get into the day-to-day, also, business processes. Number two, and non-profit organizations do a lot of wonderful work in the community, in the grassroots, but they don't know how to tell their stories. So how do we get that story out? How do we get your impact told? Number three, how do you access the right kind of funding? Because we wake up, nemuandika proposal, but you're writing to all the wrong people. Why are you all writing to the same corporate companies? Stanbic, Erimo Education, MTN Foundation, MTN, Simanya Change Makers, but we're all writing to the same guys. We haven't taken time to understand who feels for us. And then when you finally get people to give you some money, olubawa sente temuddamu kwogera nabo, temubeebaza, temuweerezaayo ka thank you video, temumanyi baweereza report. Someone will give you money for a while. Now even if it was you. You know how they keep telling us wetuweereza mobile money, olitaddamu. When they need the money, they're like, send. Then when you send, silence. So that's what happens also in the NGO world. Send, we need money for this, we need money for that. Nemuweereza, silence. Muddemu bawuliza another 10 months later. Send. So you're asking yourself, these people abateebaza, abatandaga sente zange tezigaga. So those are the things that we want to fight. Can you tell the story? Can you share what's going on? Can you show the impact of the lives changed? And there is where I help. So that's one category of people I support. The other group I'm looking for are partners who have the cash, for lack of a better word.
Who got the money?
Who can fund this work of the NGOs. Because if you feel like they're not reporting well, if you feel like they are not going to channel the money well, I am in between. I am the big go-between. The calls them the Katera room. I am the go-between. Let's have a conversation. Yeah. What are your interests as a funder? Does my NGO here, do they meet your interests? Yes. You like what they do? Yes. Okay, this is how we're going to work. This is how we're going to structure our work. Yeah. And I will be the one who stands in to cover that gap, make sure the reporting gets done, to make sure the stories get told, make sure you are visible as a funder if you need the visibility, and to make sure that we are changing the lives together. So those are the people I want on the one hand, the funders, and then the NGOs on the other hand. Yeah.
Wow. But I can't add anything else. This is just, guys, if you have the money, you're a funder, Doris is here, consult, help you. If you're an NGO, please reach out to Doris or to me, because I'm soon becoming the manager of Blue Peak.
Blue Peak, I like that you got the name. Yes.
It's Blue Peak.
Yes.
From
like color blue and then peak. The peak. Yeah.
So guys, this has been Doris, and thank you for today. I would like you to nominate 2 people. One from your chapter, Sunrise, and another one from a cross-chapter member.
Wow.
And yeah, you give us your closing remarks and a call to action.
Okay. From my chapter, wow. Has Sheila done this thing?
Nishambi?
Yeah.
Yes, she was nominated.
She was nominated already. Are you able to find? No, that one you will not find.
You see.
Maria, you're not going to find her.
Maria who?
Maria Ogwal.
I'll find her. Maria Ogwal of Zela
Makeup Studio.
I got her.
Okay.
I got her.
I nominate Maria. Yes. Yeah. Maria is my title. I nominate Maria.
Yes.
And then cross chapter, I'll nominate a guy. Can I nominate a guy?
Yes, absolutely.
Right. I'll nominate the new president of Pearl Chapter, Farid.
That one is my guy.
He
loves
Farid.
To dance.
Yes.
Farid, you're nominated. Maria Ogwal of Zela Makeup Studio. I am also coming. I know.
All right.
Kali, closing remarks. What is it that we should walk out with?
Wow. What should you walk out with? Hey, I mean, Blue Peak Advisory is here. I know many of you say, me, I don't know about NGOs. But think in your circles. I get people every day telling me, I have an NGO, I have a foundation. Let's sit, let's talk. What can we do? How can we help you get on your way? I mean, right now, the whole funding landscape has totally gone on top of its head. It's, as they say, it's topsy-turvy. It's crazy. But there are opportunities locally that we can tap into. I mean, these guys of Sukuma, just their services alone will cut out some stress from your staff members. And they come with Sukuma, they dance, staff members stress done away with. You don't need counseling. That's going to cost you, So think beyond just the money. If you're in the nonprofit sector, think beyond just the money. How can you build a system that is self-sufficient and it's running and you're not constantly asking and begging and looking, centers if they were. And those are the conversations that I am looking to have with many organizations. Yeah. So thank you, Sukuma, for this time.
Thank you so much. Guys, it has been Doris from Blue Peak.
Yeah. Here in my village in Kanyanya.
Here in Kanyanya. It's been a powerful one-to-one. Sweat fast, strategize next session. And see you, Farid and Maria Ogwal.
Cool.